Hello, my name is Shane Mayer. I'm the Renewable and Refined Fuels Pricing Manager for CHS. CHS is a global agribusiness cooperative owned by farmers and ranchers across much of the U.S. We are diversified in energy, agronomy, grains, and foods, and we are headquartered in Minnesota. I've been part of the cooperative system since 1994, having various roles throughout that time. My current position, I manage the team that does all of our wholesale gasoline and diesel fuel pricing, along with any renewable fuel blends that they might have. CHS is a refiner, and we would sell the offtake or price the offtake for the output from those refineries, as well as gallons from other supply partners we have across much of the U.S. Price elasticity and sensitivity can be very high in some areas and for some products, so it requires us to be very agile in terms of responding to the competitive landscape and any market conditions. We really are trying to satisfy many different needs a customer may have, oftentimes with one price for one product at a terminal. That can be very challenging. As far as what is competitive, you could probably ask 10 people that question and get 10 different answers. So it's really trying to manage what those expectations are and what really makes the most sense for our business. Lastly, I would say that our product slate has been changing a lot over the course of the last few years. A lot of that tied to maybe new renewable blends or new restrictions from the EPA creating new product lines. So it's put a lot of pressure on my team as well as our operations and throughout our organization to get everything set up and in place even before we can start pricing. Everything in Pros basically needs to be updated to new numbering systems, new cross references, obviously data, strategies, product cross references, things like vendor inputs, all that needs to be changed. So in order for us to have that no impact on the customer rule, if you will, that requires everything in the new environment to basically perform and match what we have in the current environment, so that way the outputs would be the same, so there'd be no impact there. Also, the integrations coming in would be a big piece of that to ensure that we are able to have the outputs from Pros match. And then once we do get everything done internally to Pros, then it's a matter of what happens to those prices after we send them out. So again, that's outbound interfacing, not only from Pros to S4, but then the next step from S4 through other systems to get them out to our customer. I will say it's actually pretty exciting to be part of building the SAP platform, which should be in place for years to come. To have part of the decision making and how that's going to look going forward is pretty exciting. It's no surprise that it really comes down to data, just managing that to the best of your ability in terms of standardizing that and streamlining that. What do you want to get out of Pros? What is your data hierarchy going to be to allow you to filter things correctly or the way you want them? How is that going to display in some of the insights? So a lot of revolves around data. Every company has their own quirks, just like us, and there's going to be one-offs, but really trying to eliminate those to the best of your ability and cleanse your data if possible ahead of a project like this is huge. And then obviously start as early as you can.